Hello, everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the new bio sports pick that we haven't gotten a lot of bio sports picks in a while, huh? But we got one now with the Smashing Machine, which stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It is directed by Benny Safdie, and this is a film that's about Mark Kerr. And if you don't know who Mark Kerr is, he's a former amateur wrestler, MMA fighter, who is one of the pioneers of the MMA fighting, UFC, Pride, all that good stuff. He's one of the pioneers of this sport. And this film chronicles 3 years in his life where he started his MMA career and the ups and downs that took place in that short period of time of this man. And this is a film that also stars, along with Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, who plays his girlfriend in this film. And those two have starred together in the past with Jungle Cruise, so they reunite for this film. Benny Safdie, the director of this film, he normally directs with his brother, and they kind of went their separate ways, and they're off directing and making their own movies. And I think this is his first solo outing as a director. I could be wrong on that, but I think this is. But this was a good job by him. I enjoyed this film, and a lot of talk, before this film was even released, as it made its way around the film festival circuit, was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Is he going to win an Academy Award, get nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in this film? I will say that I was enjoying watching the trailers leading up to this movie, because this looked like a different Dwayne Johnson. This wasn't Jumanji Dwayne Johnson. It definitely wasn't Black Adam Dwayne Johnson. This was Dwayne Johnson diving into drama. It's something that we haven't seen him in. And could he handle it? Could he be the guy that can give a powerful performance where he disappears in the role? Yes. Yes, he can. He did an excellent job as Mark Kerr in this film. It was moments in this movie where I forgot it was Dwayne Johnson. Prosthetics aside, he had prosthetics on that made him look different, but you could still see Dwayne Johnson in there. But it was moments throughout this film, through his acting, where I forgot it was Dwayne Johnson. I thought it was Mark Kerr. He really dove into this head first. And man, what a job by him. Now, will he be nominated? I don't know. But if I was on the board, I don't know if I can nominate him. It was definitely hands down. There's no argument here. His best performance to date. This is his greatest performance that he is ever giving outside of WWE. This is his greatest performance on the big screen. Completely disappeared in the role. Excellent job. One of the gems about this movie was his relationship, or his chemistry, with Emily Blunt, playing his girlfriend Dawn. And I loved that aspect of the movie more than I enjoyed the fighting throughout the movie. I really was intrigued by their relationship and the ups and downs of this relationship. It wasn't a bubblegum, sweet Hollywood version of a relationship. It was real. And I appreciated it for that. It didn't dumb it down. This is a real relationship. This is the type of relationship you go home to after you leave the theater. It's that type of relationship. And they really went in with it and kept it real. I really appreciated that. The fighting in this movie was great. I was kind of skeptical. How can you capture MMA on the big screen? course, it's kind of hard to compare it to anything because we haven't gotten a lot of MMA movies, other than Warrior. And Warrior was just great, but does it match that? No, I don't think it matches Warrior as far as how that action was filmed or how it was portrayed. It's more of clips here. You don't get full fledged fights like you would see in a Rocky movie or something like that. If I can compare the two, you really can't. But you get where I'm getting at. It's not a full fight that you see. And to be fair, UFC fights and Pride fights, those MMA events, there aren't full 12-round fights. they can last from 10 seconds to 10 minutes or whatever fight's over. It don't take long to pummel somebody on the ground and the fight's over. And so it didn't really have time to rev up your engines as far as your adrenaline pumping with the fights going on. But this isn't a fight movie. This is a drama. This is the story of Mark Kerr. Or Kerr, I should say. It's not that type of movie. If you're going to see it for the fights, it's not really there. Now, it's brutal when it does have it. I will say that much. It is brutal. The fights look really, really real. For the quick glimpses that we get, a couple of them didn't, and it just came off as a little cheesy, and it explained why they were quick cuts of it. But all in all, it was all right. My problems with the movie, it's some of the supporting characters in this film were kind of underwritten, kind of underdeveloped, and you didn't get enough time with them to kind of feel that relationship they had to Mark, his best friend, which I wish they would have explored more, the guy that he trained with, and who was there for him, especially in the scene. Oh my God, they had a scene in here, and no spoilers, I'm not spoiling anything, but there's a scene where Mark Kerr is coming down from his opioid addiction and everything, and his friend flies from across the country, wherever he was, to come see him and talk to him. Man, in that scene, Dwayne Johnson, now that I think about it, in that scene, that probably will get him nominated, to be honest. I don't think he'll win, but I think he probably will get nominated. That scene broke me. I was emotional. I will say that. So I tip my hat to him on that. But I would have loved to have seen that friendship more. But I get it. This movie is more of an exploration into Mark Kerr's life. And everybody else was just there. They were pretty much props that went along for the ride. And we focused heavily on Mark. And for that reason, I get it. But I still would have liked to have seen more from supporting characters. Even Emily Blunt's character, we didn't get a lot of her in this film, which was a shock to me. I thought we was going to get a lot more of her in the movie, but we didn't. And I will say she did the best job she could with the limited time that she had on screen. That was a plus, but all in all, I wish there was more of her. The movie was decent. It's nothing that I would say was innovative or any way. It's like any other sports drama that you would see, biopic film that you would see. It's nothing new. It didn't bring anything fresh to the table. If you watch the documentary, which I did a few years back, that came on HBO about Mark Kerr, which was entitled The Smashing Machine, coincidentally, but I had already knew the story going in because I watched that documentary. It is what it is. It's nothing new. It's nothing new that you would learn about him, nothing new that you would discover about this man, because for some strange reason they decided to just focus on these 3 years, 1997 to 2000. That's it. We didn't get his backstory. We didn't get how he grew up or how he began to take these drugs, or what brought him to start taking them. Even though we do find out as the movie goes on, you use common sense why he took it, but I would like to see him discover it and go down his path, and then his journey through it, trying to fight it. I would have loved to have seen that, but they decided to focus on these 3 years of his life, and it was nice. I thought it was nice. The ending I ain't too much care for, but that was the ending. That was, it's not a Hollywood movie. This was a true story. So this is how that section ended in its life. So it is what it is. But overall, it's a good watch. Is it something that I would watch again, run to the theater to watch again? No. Do I think it deserved to be a flop at the box office its opening weekend? No. I think it's worthy of a watch. I think it's a good watch, especially if you're a Dwayne Johnson fan. You should check it out because you will be impressed with his acting here. I guess he looked at John Cena and said, "Man, I need to be the best actor turned wrestler." And right now, John Cena is killing it. Even Dave Bautista is killing it. So I gotta step my game up. And he really did in this movie. Great job by Dwayne Johnson. I give The Smashing Machine a letter grade of a B minus. Yeah, it was really good, and it's carried by the performance of Dwayne Johnson. It did an excellent job. I'm not 100% shocked by the performance because I kind of anticipated that going in, that he was going to give a good performance. But I am a little surprised on how much I connected with this character, how much sympathy that I felt for this character. You couldn't help but cheer for him. You couldn't help but get behind him. Sometimes when you watch films and the protagonist is doing his thing and you just know you got to cheer for him because he's the protagonist. He's the hero of the story. He or she is the hero of the story. So you automatically are following that character or cheering for that character. Even though sometimes that character is a douchebag. So in this case here, I honestly couldn't help but get behind Mark Kerr. There is nothing about that man. Now, this is a movie. It could be, the bubblegum version of him. We only get one side of the equation here. But this dude was a good dude. I mean, it's nothing about the guy that, you wouldn't want to get behind him. He's really a good dude, bro. Sweet guy. Soft-spoken, even though he's in probably the most violent sport there is. Is amazing, but great job by Dwayne Johnson. I would like to know, did you check out The Smashing Machines, and what did you think of it, and what did you think of Dwayne Johnson's performance here? Do you think he's Oscar worthy of this performance? I would love to know your thoughts. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for this show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of The Smashing Machine. I want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.